Still in North Africa, 29 people were wounded in Algeria on Sunday in a suicide bombing attack. Police headquarters in the city of Tizi Ouzou was the target, according to the official APS news agency. Tizi Ouzou is located about 100 kilometers east of Algiers. It is the capital of the mountainous Kabylie region, where Al-Qaeda's North African wings has a stronghold. The attacker tried to drive a Toyota pickup truck packed with explosives into the police headquarters. Algeria is still emerging from nearly 2 decades of conflict between security forces and Islamist militants that killed an estimated 200,000 people.
In focus, elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo are set for November. Policymakers here in Washington and elsewhere are studying previous election violence to provide support for a smoother process this time. VOA's Carolyn reports.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is no longer at war, but neither is it at peace. It is a post-conflict country, and the challenges of peace-building are formidable, and unspeakable acts of sexual violence still are being reported by local populations. The DRC is set to hold presidential and legislative elections on November 28th. A peaceful vote was attempted in 2006, but violence broke out for 2 days. The international community in Washington is organizing support for a peaceful poll, but David Patti of the Carter Center says there are clear risks for violence.
We did have codes of conduct in 2006. We had confidence-building measures. We had all sorts of integrated forms of management, and yet we still had the 2 leading candidates after the first round fighting in the streets and exchanging artillery fire for the 72 hours after the announcement of the first round of the results. I think that, Congolese live with that kind of violence every day, and that should be foremost in our minds, that confidence-building measures, yes, are important, but there needs to be a whole other menu of options and activities that bind these actors to what will be a collective outcome through the elections.
Ambassador James F. Entwistle, the U.S. ambassador to the DRC, says the United States is taking a supporting role.
The U.S. has an agenda in Congo: peace, stability, economic reform, improving the quality of life for Congolese, helping the Congolese government do all of this. The Congo, both physically and symbolically, is at the heart of Africa. They've suffered arguably one of the worst wars in human history, and the U.S. is incredibly committed and involved in this process of helping them recover from that. Free and fair, credible elections are part of the puzzle of helping our Congolese friends get back on their feet, which is in the interest of the Congolese, but also in the interest of Africa. Remember that what happened in the 90s and 2000s was a war that did not just affect Congo, it drew in many neighbors and had huge ramifications across the continent.
Alami Salah with the International Foundation for Electoral Systems says that there must be groundwork laid if peaceful elections are to happen in the DRC.
Because of a breakdown in the system, and that is why we have violence. For an example, in any country where you don't involve the various stakeholders in the process of elections, there is bound to be a difficulty. If you, during registration period, if you refuse to register candidates or the citizens who are qualified to register to vote, but you refuse to register them because they come from a particular area, or because of a tribe they belong to, or because they belong to a political party, I think that is a source of violence that people don't look at.
The role of the United States and the United Nations is to support the elections and help assure a free and fair process, according to Ambassador Entwistle.
Many donors, including us, are involved in training in the security sector. As I said in my comments, the UN will also have a role in helping, but it's the Congolese responsibility to maintain security and prevent violence during the elections, and I'm confident that they'll be able to meet that responsibility with help from the international community.
Policymakers say the challenge in the Congo is to establish capable state authority that can peacefully manage internal conflicts and be seen as legitimate by the people of the DRC. Carolyn, VOA News.